Hello everyone and welcome back to Gallivanting Kendall. Boy, oh boy, what a year opening I have had. I was down with a virus just after New Year's for about a week and a half. No, it was not COVID. And then about 2 weeks ago, I got into a motor vehicle accident. It was not my fault. I was injured, but I am recovering. I will be fine. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about 4 major modes of transportation that you can take when you come to the Philippines. There are several modes of transportation here in the Philippines, but some are more common than others, and each have their different advantages and prices. If you come here and you're thinking of taking your time about buying a vehicle, then take your time. There's no rush. The Philippines is one of the easiest and cheapest countries to get around in. Just a quick note, I live in Naga City, which is in Cebu province. So when I talk about getting around Cebu, I'm also talking about other cities near Cebu City. For instance, locals will tell you that Lapu-Lapu City, which is on a small island just east of Cebu Island, is also part of Cebu City. Also, when locals ask online or when you meet them in person, if you live in Cebu, they mean Cebu Island. The next question they'll ask is, where in Cebu do you live? They're not talking about where in Cebu City. They're talking about where in Cebu Island or where in Cebu province do you live. The first and by far the most convenient form of transportation is the tricycle or the trike. What's up, man? How much to go to Gaisano Grande?
In Minglanilla.
Oh, Minglanilla. Just curious, just for my viewers.
Give me 200.
Huh?
200 pesos.
A trike is a motorcycle with a sidecar. Not your typical motorcycle sidecar like we see in the States. These sidecars are large steel frame sidecars. Most are motorcycles, some are electric, and some are pedal power. Now, trikes are not allowed to operate in downtown Cebu City, I think because they move slower and tend to slow down traffic. The trikes in this video are in downtown Naga City and Minglanilla. But if you live on Mactan Island or anywhere outside downtown Cebu or Manila, they are plentiful. They can carry between 1 and 5 passengers, sometimes 6, maybe even 7. Depending on your needs, the price will change. What do I mean by that? Well, a shared ride will cost around 25 to 30 pesos, which is about 45 to 54 cents by today's exchange rate. Many times the driver will ask if you want a shared ride or a special. If you want a special, which means you want to ride alone, you're going to pay between 60 and 100 pesos depending on how far you have to ride. Of course, you can pay up to 200 or a little more if you're going far. I've never paid more than 150 pesos for an especial, and I almost always ride a special anyway. A second form of transportation that is very common with the locals is a jeepney. Jeepneys are cheap. Depending on how far you're going, jeepneys are about 12 to 30 pesos. 30 pesos will take you far in a jeepney. I can't ride in jeepneys. I'm only 5'9", and the ceiling and windows are too low for me. If you haven't noticed, I have no hair, so there's no padding on top of my head, and I'm constantly banging my head on the metal ceiling. Also, I can't bend down low enough to see out the window in order to see where I'm supposed to get off. Because jeepneys are so cheap, they're often filled to capacity. Jeepneys typically run between 12 pesos for local rides. And about 30 pesos. Most I've heard for a jeepney is 30 pesos. That was from Naga to about San Fernando, which is 17.7 kilometers or about 11 miles away. Last summer I was up in Manila and I noticed that the jeepneys there were slightly larger, but I didn't know my way around, so I didn't know the routes, and I just took trikes and grabs to get around.
Car, how much? Pila, car. 30? Salamat.
San Fernando, tag 20 na. 20 pesos San Fernando. Car, 30 pesos. Bata Richard ah.
one car I'd like to visit. How long does it take? 45 minutes? 1 hour? 1 hour?
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Salamat.
Grab is Asia's version of Uber or Lyft. Grabs can be private cars or taxis, just like in the States. They're a phone app, and Grab is also popular for ordering and delivering food. In fact, as you ride past many restaurants like McDonald's, pizza places, and malls, you'll see motorcycles lined up with the big insulated food delivery bags on the back. If they're green, they'll have the Grab logo, which is the name printed on them. Grab is very convenient, but costs quite a bit more than a trike. Just as an example, when I was living in Lapu-Lapu City on Mactan, if I wanted to go to Cebu City on the island of Cebu, you have to take a Grab, as trikes are not allowed on any of the 3 bridges that you have to go over in order to get there. Now, to go most places in Cebu City, a Grab will cost you a minimum of about $10 US from Lapu-Lapu. One of the reasons I moved to where I live now was for the convenience. I found that I did more in Cebu City than I did in Lapu-Lapu because I had more friends who lived here. I live in Naga because after 30 years of living in LA, I didn't want to live in the big city again. One thing you also need to know about Grab is that it's not available here in Naga City if you're thinking of moving just outside Cebu City. If I want to get a Grab, I have to take a trike or a bus to Minglanilla, which is about 20 minutes by bus or by trike. And I have to go to Gaisano Grand Mall where I can order a Grab or just take a taxi that's likely to be parked right outside. That brings me to buses. There are a lot of different kinds of buses here in Philippines. Remember, when I say Cebu, I'm also talking about smaller cities to the north and south of Cebu City. There are air-conditioned buses and non-air-conditioned buses. Obviously, the non-air-conditioned buses are the cheapest. I've never taken one except when I was in the Navy 40 years ago in Subic, and a girlfriend wanted me to meet her grandmother who lived in Bataan. World War II nerds will recognize that Bataan was the scene of some famous and brutal fighting between the US and the Japanese. I was not a hit with this woman. She just sat there and glared at me while she smoked a cigar backwards. I was 19 years old and the woman scared the crap out of me. Anyway, back to buses. The most popular bus lines in Cebu are the Series lines, Calvo, Sunray, and My Bus. There are others, but those are the 4. Oh, there's Leberendo or something like that. And there are others, but those are the 4 most popular bus lines. Calvo buses are not air-conditioned as far as I know. I've never seen an air-conditioned Calvo bus. And I think some of the Sunrays and Series are non-air-conditioned as well. My Bus starts at Belmont One Plaza in Minglanilla, which is also the location of a small amusement park called Angel World, and it ends at a huge mall called SM City Mall with several stops in between, including Park Mall, both of which are in Cebu City. When you come here, you're gonna find out that malls are very important here in the Philippines. People go to malls for shopping, socializing, and to get a break from the heat.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, okay?
What's your name?
Rosa,
Rosa. Thank you, Rosa.
you're welcome.
Merry
Thank you, Lota. My Bus is comfortable and air-conditioned, as are most Series liners. Series liners can be long-haul tour buses as well as local buses. My Bus looks like your typical city bus in the US and is air-conditioned. The fare is 50 pesos. I've never taken a Series bus, so I can't tell you what that'll cost you. If you're riding a 2-wheeled vehicle like a scooter or motorcycle, give the buses a lot of room. They are aggressive, and according to my landlord, if they hit you, they've been known to back up over people and kill them. It saves on paperwork and lawsuits. That's not my opinion. That is not my opinion. That's a word of caution that my landlord gave me.
You go to car?
Yeah.
How much? I'm not going.
40.
Huh?
40 pesos.
40?
Yeah.
For a Filipino, how much?
40 pesos only.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so oftentimes in the Philippines, if you're a foreigner, they charge you a little more. The reason he was laughing was because I was saying, he knew I was saying, if I were Filipino, how much would I pay? Now, I just mentioned scooters. Scooters are extremely popular here in the Philippines. In fact, there are as many scooters on the road as there are four-wheeled vehicles. It's nothing for you to sit at a traffic light and find yourself surrounded by 50 scooters depending on the time of day. Yes, I have counted them before. Why are they so popular? Well, they're cheaper than cars and better on gas. Gas is sold here by the liter and comes to about $4 US per gallon. Scooters are family vehicles, mostly because they're much cheaper than cars and trucks. You'll see mother, father, and 2 kids all on one scooter. That's a common sight. Don't be alarmed. They're used to it. It's their custom. The biggest advantage to scooters is that they're much easier to get around in than cars. The streets, including the highway in Cebu, are not as wide as they are in the States, and traffic is worse in Los Angeles or New York City. If you take your car at 2 o'clock in the afternoon from certain parts of downtown Cebu City to Naga City, it can take 4 hours. I am not kidding, 4 solid hours. That same trip, if you want to start out just before rush hour, say 2 in the afternoon, on a scooter, will only take you about an hour and a half. For you hardcore bikers out there is a Harley-Davidson dealership in Cebu City. Yay! Where you can either buy or rent a Harley. Harley rentals are about $200 a month depending on the model. But you need to know you will not be happy. The only day you'll be able to ride or enjoy it is on a Sunday, unless you live out in the province or on the outskirts of Cebu City. Like maybe down in Boal you can enjoy it. There are a lot of Westerners moving to that area now. Most Filipinos work 6 days a week, so traffic is rough even on Saturday. If you rent a scooter, make sure your back can take it because the roads are rough. I see a lot of Westerners on scooters and motorcycles also. Oftentimes you'll see a line of scooters outside malls or on streets that are heavily traveled, and they'll ask you if you need a ride. These are called hobbles. If you think you're getting value out of this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Now, hobbles are independently owned and operated, and most of them carry an extra helmet. You can get pretty far for just 25 or 30 pesos. There's also a company, both here and in Manila, called Angkas, A-N-G-K-A-S. I highly recommend downloading the Angkas app. Angkas is Uber or Lyft on 2 wheels. If you go out and you leave home in a Grab, and you need to get back during rush hour, hobbles or Angkas are your best bets. Otherwise, it'll take you forever and cost you a small fortune for you to get home or to your next destination in rush hour traffic. I put Amazon affiliate links in the show notes for some of the products I've reviewed and the gear that I use to shoot some of my videos. I'll see you in a few days with another video about what not to do when you arrive at NAIA, Ninoy Aquino International Airport in Manila. Thanks for watching.